parents likely won't get jail for kids with no mask, but shops should kick them out. Luke Daniels wrote this for the Business Insider for South Africa, December 31st of 2021. Right before the fun of 2022. Trying to be 2022, as in T-O-O. Not wearing a face mask in public after a law enforcement warning is now a criminal offense in South Africa. That rule may, technically, cover infants and toddlers too, though it won't matter in practice. Children under 12 cannot be arrested, and parents cannot be prosecuted for failing to force their kids to wear a face mask. Does that mean you're arresting 13 and older? But private establishments like shopping centers and restaurants should deny access to anybody who refuses a mask, including very young children. What about autistics? What about Down syndromes? What about kids with sensory issues? What about children with respiratory issues? What about children that have had stroke? Failing to wear a mask in public after a warning from a law enforcement official can now be a criminal offense in South Africa, including, in theory, for children. Practically speaking, that won't see either kids or parents going to jail. But shops should kick anyone out who refuses to put in a mask, I think he meant on, including infants. The rules for the newly adjusted Level 3 are clear. All persons entering a public space are required to wear a face mask. Failure to do so can ultimately result in fines ranging from 1,000 rubles, maybe. I don't know what money they use, to up to 6 months in prison, or both. Plus a criminal record. How nice of y'all. But the Child Justice Amendment Act is also clear. People under the age of 12 lack criminal capacity, and so cannot ordinarily be arrested or prosecuted through the criminal justice system, nor, as things stand, can parents be held responsible if, say, a 3-year-old yanks off a mask in a shopping center. I don't think parents will be held liable for failing to mask their children. For that to happen, government would have to issue an amendment. Unless there is an express regulation to explain that a parent can be held criminally liable if they don't mask their children, I don't see a successful prosecution, says attorney Tracy Lomax Nixon. I don't know if she's related. There is also help to be had from the closest thing to detailed rules around masking children in South Africa, in the form of Early Childhood Development, ECD guidelines, intended to guide schools and child centers, and so not directly applicable to restaurants or the like. Those held that no child under 2 would be required to wear a face mask, while children between the ages of 2 and 5 would only be encouraged to wear a face mask. That may not help the manager of a shop or a public place, though the responsibility placed on them could see recalcitrant children kicked out. So you're going to kick the stubborn ones out, huh? Who's stubborn, mama or the kids? You don't know. While individuals have responsibility to wear a mask, people in charge of public places have a separate duty to prevent entry of anyone without a mask. What the regulation says is that shopkeepers may not allow people into the establishment if they are not wearing a mask, and there is no age limit, says Lomax Nixon. So, shopkeepers are obliged to deny access to families if their children are not wearing masks, and a shopkeeper could be prosecuted if he did allow it because of the wording of the regulations. This issue of forcing young children to wear a mask is contentious, admits Lomax Nixon. You think? The WHO advises against masks for children under the age of 5 and proposes a carefully considered risk-based approach for children between the ages of 6 and 12. Children with severe cognitive or respiratory impairments who have difficulties tolerating a mask should under no circumstances be required to wear masks, the WHO adds. That bears repeating. Children with severe cognitive or respiratory impairments who have difficulty tolerating a mask should, under no circumstances, be required to wear a mask, the WHO adds. This is fair use. I was reading the article in the Business Insider from South Africa. Business Insider South Africa approached the Department of Health for a comment on the issue of mandatory face masks and its implication on children. It has not responded by the time of publication. It had not responded. Not surprised. Thank you for watching.